You know that device in your hand, the one in your pocket? It's an incredible piece of technology, for sure, but it's also holding a pretty big secret. We all have this belief, right, that when we power our phones down, they're actually off, just a quiet, disconnected piece of glass and metal. Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you why that belief is pretty much a lie.
Okay, so let's just get right into it. You hold down that power button, you do the little slide to power off, and the screen goes black. It feels final, doesn't it? Like you've just pulled the plug on the digital world. But what if I told you that moment is less of a command and more of a suggestion? That what you're seeing is a beautiful illusion, a user experience designed to hide a much, much deeper truth about what's really going on with the hardware.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we're going to expose what we're calling the off-button lie. Then, we're going to crack the phone open, metaphorically, to show you that it's not one computer, but a whole team of them. We'll introduce you to the ghost in the machine. That's the secret little processor that never, ever sleeps. From there, we'll look at exactly how that ghost allows your phone to be tracked. And finally, we'll talk about a realistic approach to all this. What does privacy even mean in a world that's always on?
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the off-button lie. Time to unmask this illusion. That whole slide to power off thing? It's just software putting on a little show for you. It's not a big red button that cuts all the power at the source. Nope. It's more like you're politely asking the phone to pretend it's off.
This slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, that's what we all think happens. Screen's black, phone's off, everything's dead. Simple. But the reality over on the right is that the main operating system, your iOS or Android, just goes into what's called a system halt. Think of it like a super, super deep sleep. But the key is the electrical pathways, the power rails, they're still live. Power is still trickling to some very important and very much awake little components.
And this is the perfect analogy. We've all done this, right? You hit the power button on the remote, the TV screen goes dark. But is it really off? Of course not. A tiny part of it is still getting power. That little red light is on, and it's just listening, waiting for you to press that on button again. Your phone is doing the exact same thing, just on a whole other level. It's waiting for a signal, and that signal might not be coming from you.
Which brings us to Section 2, and this is where it gets really, really interesting. The key to understanding all of this is to stop thinking of your phone as a single computer. It's not. It's a team of specialized computers, a whole hierarchy of processors, all crammed into that tiny case.
Okay, now this is the key to the whole mystery. Let's meet the team, the cast of characters. You've got the application processor, the AP. That's the main brain, the superstar that runs iOS or Android. When you power down, it goes to sleep. But look who stays awake. The baseband processor, our communications chief, is still on, just in a low power mode. The PMIC, the power management chip, is the gatekeeper for the battery. It has to stay on. And the secure enclave, the little security guard that protects your fingerprint data, still on. The star of the show is asleep, but the entire backstage crew is wide awake and working.
So let's just focus on that application processor for a second. This is the powerhouse, right? The chip you hear about in all the commercials? The Snapdragon, the Apple A series chip. It's what runs that beautiful operating system, all your apps, your games. It's also an absolute energy hog, which is exactly why the off button puts it to sleep. It's the only way to save your battery. But then there's this other guy, the baseband processor. And this is the key to everything. You have to understand this is a completely separate computer. It doesn't know about iOS, it doesn't care about Android. It runs its own simple, secret little operating system that you, the user, can never ever see or interact with. Its entire purpose in life is to talk to the cell phone towers. And because that's its one and only job, it can never ever fully power down. And this brings us right to Section 3, the ghost in the machine. We are giving the baseband processor its own entire section because, well, it's the phantom component that makes all of this possible. It's the part of your phone that literally has a life of its own, totally independent of whatever you're doing on the screen. So what makes this processor the perfect ghost? Well, first off, like we said, it runs its own private OS. But second, its core programming, the firmware, it's a total black box. It's secret, proprietary code from the company that made the chip, and it's completely sealed off. You know what that means? It means it's totally invisible to any security software you might have. Your antivirus app has no idea this thing even exists. And here's the kicker. As long as there is any juice at all left in the battery, the baseband can just sit there, silently, in a low-power state, just listening for a signal from the network.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it?
The baseband is the phantom processor. You have no direct access to it, you have no control over it, but it is always connected and it is always listening to the network.
So if this phantom processor is always listening, how does that actually translate into being found? Let's get into Section 4, the specific, clever mechanisms that allow a phone that looks like it's off to be located.
So the classic method is good old network triangulation. It doesn't even need GPS. Here's how it works. Step 1, the cell network sends out a page. It's basically a tiny whisper of data asking, hey, phone with this specific ID, are you out there? Step 2, your phone's baseband processor, which is just sitting there in its low power state, wakes up for a fraction of a second just to send a tiny, yep, I'm here signal back. And step 3, by measuring how long that signal takes to reach at least 3 different cell towers, the network can do some quick math and triangulate your position, often down to just a few feet.
But there's a newer method that's even more ingenious. The crowdsourced Find My networks from Apple and Google. When your phone is off, it can still sip just enough power to send out a tiny, anonymous Bluetooth beacon. Now, this little beacon is then picked up by any other phone that happens to pass by. That nearby phone then acts as a relay, anonymously sending your beacon along with its own current GPS location up to the cloud. It's brilliant. It's a massive, planet-wide, crowdsourced tracking network where everyone's phone is helping everyone else find their lost devices.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, let's talk about the SIM card. Because it's not just a dumb piece of plastic, it's actually a tiny little computer in its own right, with its own processor. The network can send it special invisible text messages, silent SMS, that your phone will never show you. These messages can command the SIM to respond or perform actions without you ever knowing. It's basically the ultimate double agent in your pocket, and its main loyalty is to the network.
Okay, that's a lot to take in, and it sounds pretty inescapable, right? So is there anything we can actually do about any of this? That brings us to our final section, the realistic approach. This is where we separate the myths from the hard truths. So many of us reach for software fixes. You see on the left here, we use VPNs, we use Tor, we flip on airplane mode. But here's the thing, these are all just software. They run on the application processor, the main brain that we already know goes to sleep. As you can see on the right, they have zero ability to tell the baseband processor to stop talking to a cell tower. You can't solve a hardware problem with a software solution. It's like trying to fix a leak in your basement by painting a wall in the attic.
And this all leads to a few really hard truths about digital privacy. The only way to truly 100% guarantee your phone is silent is to use specialized phones that have actual physical kill switches that cut the power to the circuits. Or, stick it in a Faraday cage that blocks all radio signals. For the rest of us with a normal smartphone, the goal can't be total privacy. That's basically impossible by design. The goal has to be risk management. It's about understanding how this stuff works so you can decide for yourself what level of connection and exposure you're actually comfortable with.
And that leaves us with this final question to chew on. The very design of our most personal devices is to keep us connected, findable, and online. So in a world that is literally engineered to be always on, we have to ask ourselves, what does privacy really mean anymore? Maybe it's not about being invisible. Maybe it's about being intentional.